everybody. This probably should have been my first video, but now it's my 15th or 16th video, which is probably just as well because I probably wouldn't have told the story very well the first time. I was pretty nervous even in my little recipe videos and stuff, and even in this one I'm a little nervous, you know, because trying to keep all the stuff straight and trying to remember what you're going to say in what order and all that kind of fun stuff. So this is basically my story, my entire life, in probably about 5 minutes or less, just covering the major turning points, I guess, in how I eat and my view of things in terms of veganism and such. Basically, when I was about 6 years old or so, I saw, well, probably younger than that, about 4, I saw a cow being slaughtered. When I was probably about 5, I was involved in the killing of a chicken, which scarred me, luckily. Probably when I was about 10 years old, I quit eating meat. It was around 1984. It wasn't because of friends or anything like that. I mean, none of my friends, even through today hardly, are even vegetarian, let alone vegan. I've met up with a few of them at the meetups, which is cool. Which is kind of the reason I started doing that, was because I started thinking about it. I'm like, Christ, none of the people I know are vegan, and none of the people they know even are vegan. So I thought, you know, I should start finding some people that that agree with what I'm thinking. So that was like 10 years old. You know, it was basically just the thought of rotting flesh. I mean, I figured it out and I'm like, oh my God, that's what we're eating? From then until about 93, I still ate cheese. I hadn't quite made the connection there. I guess it took me till I was like almost 20 years old to figure out that, you know, what cheese was exactly. I don't know, I figured out milk, and that was easy. I mean, yeah, I always knew how cheese was made, but I don't know. It never bothered me. I never let it bother me. So yeah, in 93, I went completely vegan, and haven't looked back since then. I've never wanted to eat anything else, so it doesn't matter. You know, for most people it's a willpower thing, it's whatever, and that's never been the case for me. So, you know, overall in the last 20 years, I guess, I've eaten pretty healthy, and by most people's standards, but I ate a lot of bad stuff. I mean, a lot of fat, a lot of processed carbs, pastas and breads. It wasn't uncommon if I was making like a pint, maybe a quart, I don't know, whatever, making sauce for a couple pounds of pasta. You know, I'd make a marinara with like a 1/4 cup of olive oil in it. Now, that's not too bad. It's probably, you got 4 tablespoons, probably half a tablespoon per serving, somewhere in that area, but still a lot. I mean, that's 60 plus calories in fat from in every meal. So anyway, because of that, you know, and the fact that I wasn't eating hardly any whole foods, it was all processed stuff. And I know that sounds weird, you know, from a vegan, it should be all salads and whatever. That's the impression people get. But no, I found all kinds of stuff to eat that was bad. You know, I'd make pizzas constantly. I'd found all the fake cheeses and things like that to eat. Oil on everything. And basically because of that diet, I wasn't energized. I wasn't wanting to go out and exercise, and because I didn't go out and exercise, I felt even less like it. And basically this all led up to January 2013, where I weighed 225 pounds. Now, it's not terrible, but you know, I'm only 5'10", 5'11", something like that, and so for that height, you know, I should probably weigh 160 or so pounds, maybe less, probably less. So I started looking around for things, and I found this thing called the Engine 2 diet, and basically God, I can't remember the guy's name now. I'll put a caption in. That's what I'll do. I'll probably remember it in about 8 seconds. Esselstyn or something. I'm trying to remember now. God, I want to remember this. I want to remember this. Huh. I should have had that on my notes. Anyway, Rip. I think that's his name. Rip Esselstyn. Anyway, about a week after kind of adopting some of his ideas, you know, as far as whole foods and low fat and low salt and things like that, I was feeling a lot better. I was losing some weight. I mean, I lost about 8 pounds that first week, which was kind of cool. By the end of January, I was exercising a lot more. I was eating a lot of fruit and vegetables. Actually, at that point, I was eating a lot of raw stuff, but I really didn't consider it to be raw. And probably a couple weeks later, middle of February, I watched a video on YouTube from Kristina. Alright, I'm going to mess up this name now. Kristina Carrillo-Bucaram. I think that's right. Hopefully close enough to not offend her. Although I don't think you could offend her as long as you didn't try to. And the first video I watched was with her and a girl named Megan Elizabeth, and they made these things called love pies. They were little dates and I don't remember what was in the crust. I think it was just dates that made up the crust. Anyway, and then there's, so I was really excited because of that. I was like, oh dude, I can make all these little treats and whatever, and pig out on them, and you won't gain weight from it. It's a great thing, right? It's like I don't know, a legal drug. It won't make you fat, but it tastes great and it's easy to make. So I started collecting recipes. I was all excited about this, and since then, I've made dozens of raw recipes, meals, treats, all sorts of stuff. And then in the last several months, probably, I don't know, last 3 months, 3-4 months, I've gotten a lot simpler. It's like, all right, I don't really need to make a big recipe. I can just eat some bananas. I'll sit down at night and grab a handful of bananas, and I'm at my bar right now, which used to be full of alcohol and stuff. It's not anymore. Now it's full of bananas, which is kind of cool. The wasted nights sitting around drinking, and then the wasted days with the hangovers and such, no good. I'd much rather go to bed and get up and do something useful, or that'll make me feel better instead of worse. So that's cool. Just another little side. It's amazing once you start doing this, a whole lifestyle changes. I mean, all sorts of stuff that you thought was fun and exciting and you look forward to, you're just like, why would I even do that? It's, whatever. So I haven't been completely raw. I mean, I've had pizzas, I've got a bunch of recipes that you saw. Some of them are very recent even. But I do them on the weekends. A lot of them were on a trip that we took about a month ago that I'm just putting out now. And so, it's, people talk about, cheating or falling off the wagon or whatever. It's not like that. It just, if I feel like eating something cooked, I do. And it's not gonna hurt me as much as stressing out over, not doing it because I want to, and then banning myself from it, and then I'll just want it more. So anyway, although in general I don't want it very much, I usually am satisfied with a bunch of bananas or mangoes or having some dates or whatever. So that's the other thing, is low fat. That means like 10% or less. 10% isn't your target. You're not trying to get up to 10%. It's the ceiling. That's the most you want. Not necessarily in a day, but let's say in a week. If one day you're at 20% and a couple days you're at 5%, it averages out. low sodium. Not entirely sure how important this is, but I can tell you that it helps you not retain water, which is good because, you know, with all the fruit and drinking a lot of water, there's a lot going in that could get stuffed up in there. And of course, exercising, you melt off a lot of the sodium as well. So I don't know, but the deal is coming down from 225 pounds. I usually have been weighing in now around 165 to 173, somewhere in there, depending on, you know, the time of the day and if it's right after a meal or whatever. But it's quite phenomenal that, you know, in basically 9 months, I've dropped off 60 pounds and I've held it here for, gosh, it's been a couple months that I've been, you know, mid 160s. I feel like my target weight should be around 155 to 160, so that's working out fine. You know, within a year, I think I'm gonna get, or within the year from the time I started working on it, I'll be at a weight that I'm happy with, that I think I can keep for forever. Plus, this lifestyle, diet, whatever, it encourages you to go out and exercise and do things. I mean, it's just, it's like you're motivated, you're energized, you want to do it. It's not like I have to coax myself along, come on, go do it, go do it. No, it just happens. You just want to go do it. It's kind of like these videos. I've been thinking about doing recipe videos and all sorts of stuff for 5 years now. Never did one, never even recorded one video, just thought about it, talked about it, told people I was going to do it. Never did it. And I don't know, I guess this whole deal has motivated me to want to do it, to want to tell people about this, because it's freaking amazing, you know. The fact is, you know, it hasn't been difficult for me. It's not like I've achieved something. It's just I figured out that, you know, this is what we're supposed to eat. This is how we're supposed to eat, and this is, I don't know. It's like I feel like I want to be a preacher here, and I found God. So anyway, you know, the fact is, in all this time, I haven't counted calories at all, except for, you know, like right at the beginning, I was making sure I ate enough, because that seemed to be the thing that everybody was talking about. Unfortunately for me, fruit is, or fortunately, fruit is something I really like, so I was just mowing down on it. I was never hungry. I was just pigging out, and it was great, because I'd go in and weigh myself, and I'm like, I know I'm gonna have gained weight because I ate so much, you know. And nope, down 3 pounds, down 4 pounds, down. It's like day after day after day, it was just melting away. It was great. You know, and I averaged probably, Christ, some of the first days, upwards of 4,000 calories. I was just pigging out. Now I usually hold around 3,000 calories. You know, 3,500. Some days I'm way above that. It all depends, you know. Like if I get some dates, I might pig out and you know, sit down and have a 2,000 calorie meal out of you know, a big pile of dates. But when I started going to the gym, it was probably early in January. Going there and actually working out and doing the weights and everything. You know, I'd spend a couple hours there, probably about an hour on the weights and such, and a half hour doing the pool, and, you know, sitting in the hot tub, of course. Got to do that. So, you know, I'd do that. Probably around April, I started getting more into the cardio, and that prompted me to go out and buy a better bicycle, which you know, I've always turned my nose up to the bike snobs, you know, but God, it was nice having a good bike. That was a huge difference. And I didn't even buy a really good one. I just bought, you know, middle ground. It was kind of a transitional between a mountain bike and a street bike, and yeah, it worked good for me. It's nothing too special, but it works good. And it's comfortable. It's rides well. It's stiff. It doesn't, it doesn't creak and twist and whatever. Anyway, enough about the bike. So during the summertime, I've been doing probably about 20 miles a day on the bicycle. I'd ride up to the gym, go in and do some weights. It was about 10 miles there and then 10 miles home. On days when if it was raining, I'd just take the car up there and I'd spend more time in the pool or doing something like that, along with the weights. Some days I just would stay home. I didn't have the time. I'd get home late, whatever, from work or something, or get caught up on YouTube, because after all that happens, I'd sit and do some squats. Do 50 or 100 squats, do a dozen or so push-ups, and that was good. At first I couldn't do push-ups, so I'd find kicking stuff. I'd find a thing like this, and I'd just kind of do these sort of deals. I could do 2 or 3 push-ups at first, but if I'd do this, I could do 100 of them and kind of build up some more muscle mass instead of just straining to get those 3 out and then be done. So anyway, that's pretty much my story up until now. I'm gonna do a lot more videos. I'm gonna try to spread the word, shall we say. This weekend we're going to do our kitchen cleanup. I'm going to do a video of that, go through and dig everything out of our kitchen. I'm going to show you some of the neat gadgets I've acquired over the last year. Start doing some raw recipes. And yeah, I think that's pretty much about all I have to say tonight. So, I hope you guys like this. If you do, you should give it a thumbs up. Maybe hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the subscribe button right on this screen. Right there. I wanted to do that. So, anyway, if you're still here, thanks for listening, watching, and more to come. Thanks.